Have you ever been working really hard for something and the finished project just feels off? If you're in the creative field for any amount of time, this is going to happen. But that leaves you in a bit of a dilemma. What do? Do you just go forth with the project that feels completely off? Do you scrap the whole thing and lose the time and money that you've invested into it? Do you try to make something out of this mess and turn it into something that you're proud of? Well, that's what we're talking about today. Hey y'all, I'm Kendrick Shope, creator of Authentic Selling, the #1 sales process for your business, which allows you to get more customers, make more money, and have the freedom to live the life you want to live. For tactical, practical, proven, strategic sales solutions that work for your business, ring the bell and subscribe. I've been making videos for 10 years, y'all. And last year, I decided it was time for an upgrade. It was time to do a new Authentic Selling TV experience for you because, let's face it, a lot's changed in 10 years. I wanted to give you new tools. I wanted to give you an upgraded video experience, and I wanted to do more of what I love, which is being in front of the camera. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I decided that we would say goodbye to Authentic Selling TV, and we would launch a new show called Redhead Rules. Y'all know I love me some redheads, right? And the finished product of Redhead Rules was off. I felt it in every cell of my body. When I watched the finished product, I realized that this is not authentic, which is a huge problem, but it's an even bigger problem when you run a brand called Authentic Selling. I realized that the finished product was not an accurate representation of who I wanted to be in the industry. As a matter of fact, I rolled my eyes and said, why would anybody watch this? I am just rambling about myself. It's bad, and not in a good way bad, but in a bad way bad. Even more, if I got out of my head and I checked in with my body, I knew in my gut that this was crusty, musty, rusty, dusty. I knew that it made me feel icky, sleazy, slimy, gross. And the #1 rule of Authentic Selling, the brand which I have created, is if it feels icky, sleazy, slimy, gross, stop. Don't do it. So why did I try to make lemonade out of lemons? Well, quite honestly, because I thought I was being a good business owner. I didn't want to lose the nearly 6 figures I had invested in getting this new show off the ground. I didn't want to lose the endless hours I spent writing content, trying to make content. I didn't want to lose that. I felt like that was a bad business decision. So I was faced with this dilemma of, on one hand, the end product feels off. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe you've written a sales page and you're like, this does not sound like me. Maybe you've recorded a video and you don't like how you look or how you sound. Maybe you have delivered a webinar and you realize, I would never behave like that. It just felt off, not just intellectually, but in my body. Again, it was icky, sleazy, slimy, gross, crusty, musty, rusty, dusty. It was wrong. On the other hand, I didn't want to lose all the money and all the time that I invested in making this new show, and I had promised you a launch date. I had promised you this new show was coming. You know how we do. It's a megaphone moment. We tell everybody Redhead Rules is coming, share it on social, yay, yay, yay. Yet secretly, I was cringing on the inside. So you're going to get your first look at Redhead Rules and my reaction to Redhead Rules. And then at the conclusion, we're going to come back and I'm going to tell you what to do if you ever find yourself in this dilemma. Like Donna Summer, you've worked hard for the money, but the end product makes you feel cringy. What do? I'm going to give you some questions to help you navigate that decision. And as sure as my hair is red, if you are in this creative field for any amount of time, you're going to face it. So it is my absolute pleasure to roll the first and the final episode or scenes from the episode of Redhead Rules. Yep, it's a reaction video. I know, Hallianna was like, Mom, how are you doing a reaction video to a channel or a show that doesn't exist? I was like, just watch. I got this, because this felt right in my body. And then we're going to come back and we're going to figure out what you need to do when you find yourself in this dilemma.
Shope, and welcome to Redhead Rules. And don't worry, of course, you are welcome here, even if you're not a redhead. So, why would I name a show Redhead Rules? Well, being a redhead comes with its own level of challenges and its own level of being fiery. And it is that fire, that spirit that allows people to go out and claim the life that they love. And so that's what we're going to talk about here on Redhead Rules. Now, you may know me from our other YouTube show, which is called Authentic Selling TV. That is where I teach brilliant business owners how to get paid to do the work they love to do. And that show has been going on for nearly 10 years. So when the team and I sat down to put another show together, we wanted it to have just the same amount of fun, the same amount of fire, but also talking about the other side of running a business. So what can you expect from Redhead Rules? One of the sales tools I always teach our students inside of Authentic Selling University is why you? Why should people watch a channel?
I'm bored. So we're a minute and 32 seconds in and I'm bored. What's going on here is I'm ad-libbing with the script. So we had a script. I don't love scripts, but the more I film, we're using them. And I was confused by the script. I bet I shot this part 27 times. And I usually do stuff in one take, maybe two. And so my energy was off. I'm bored. I am telling you why you should watch, but I've told you that 2 times already. This is not unique. It doesn't fulfill the promises that we said we were going to.
We all got bills to pay. Stuff goes wrong in life. And so Redhead Rules is about harnessing your personality so that you don't lose that feeling of being unique.
There we go. Again, the promise is harnessing your personality, not losing the feeling of feeling unique. But there's nothing unique about this. It's me. I mean, I'm unique as a person, just like every other human is on the planet. There's nothing unique about this. This is it's not consistent with the messaging. It's not consistent with the promise of the show. From the get-go, it's wrong.
Redhead Rules is about fiery energy. Even if you're an introvert, that you can draw up on when things go sideways in life and in business to get back up, to keep going. Redhead Rules is about...
I'm making stuff up right there. I mean, I'm just making stuff up. This is supposed to set the tone for the show. And I'm like, Redhead Rules is about, and you see my eyes go up. I have no freaking clue what it's about. If I don't have a clue, how can I sell it to you? How? Bad. This is so bad.
So that's one of the things that we're going to draw upon from Redhead Rules. You don't have to be a redhead for this to work, but I've had some experiences that you can also draw upon to add that fiery energy into your world. When I started this business 10 years ago, I had an expert say to me, "You sound dumb. You sound dumb. Get fake glasses. Cut your hair so people will take you seriously because your accent is so Southern that people will not trust you." And you know what? I got fake glasses. Yeah. I got glasses literally with no lens. Like these have no lens. Yep. We did some of those fake glasses and I put my fingers through them. No lens, because I believed that this expert who had made gazillions of dollars online knew what she was talking about.
Yep.
She was wrong. I don't care who you are. Cue your inner Backstreet Boy. Wait a minute. Let's cue the Backstreet Boys. I don't care who you are, where you're from, or what you do. Off tune again. I need some auto tune. Anyway, I don't care who you are, where you are, what you do. But at some point, somebody is going to tell you you're too much.
It's true.
Even if you're an introvert.
Too muchness.
You're going to be too much of an introvert. Somebody is going to tell you to change something about yourself. And whether you do it or not, it'll run a loop in your head. Do I need to change? Are they right? Is she right? Is he right? I don't know. And so let's start this inaugural, I always wanted to go to a presidential inauguration. Let's start this inaugural episode of Redhead Rules. Sitting here at my literal, I'm like a Rob Lowe.
Okay, so I don't know how many times I said literal, like you could play a drinking game. Like shoot every time Kendrick says literal. I do this with at the end of the day too. I say it 4 times in the close. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's terrible.
Parks and Rec. Literally. I'm using the word literally so much. I'm here at my literal kitchen table having coffee with you fine people. And so let's start this first episode of Redhead Rules by just remembering that anytime somebody says you are too much, that you could call on Redhead Rule number 1, which I am stealing from the musical Mean Girls, sort of. I'd rather be me.
Yeah, so that's actually not Redhead Rule number 1. Funny story about this. I couldn't remember Redhead Rule number 1, so I made it up. It's so inauthentic. This actually is a Redhead Rule. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you. It's a great musical. So that is Redhead Rule. That is a Redhead Rule. It's Redhead Rule number 4. I'd rather be me. But it kind of plays into this, right? So Redhead Rule number 1 is if you feel the ick slime feels off, if your intuition's off, stop. Stop. The second Redhead Rule right here, right now is deadlines are not as important as feeling good about your product. Even if you get a whole team, deadlines aren't always the most important thing.
Rather be me than be with you. Except I think they say mean. But, you know, I'd rather be...
So true. I'd rather be me than be with you. And put this video out like this.
I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you. I can't sing, by the way. But I will sing a lot on Redhead Rules. Because I love me some music. So... welcome to Redhead Rules. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna dance. We're gonna sing. We're gonna uplift each other. And at the end of every episode, it is my belief and it is my wish that you will have inspired me, and I will have hopefully inspired you to get out there and be who you are.
If you're looking for a word to say when you don't know what to say, let's inspire each other.
Sometimes you need that redheaded, fiery energy to make big moves in life.
Big moves.
You gotta be like a boss. To look all those people in the face and say, I'd rather be me than sit at your table. And to go out and claim the lifestyle and the life that you want. That's what Redhead Rules is all about. Can't wait to let you in on the behind the scenes of...
All right, y'all, I can't. This just goes on and on and on for another 10 minutes of me saying, and at the end of the day, I mean, it's just bad. It's just bad.
This life that 10 years ago, when every person in my life thought I had literally...
Okay, this is just so cliche for the industry, right? 10 years ago, I was down, I was out. Nobody believed in me. I spent a lot of money. I made a lot of money. Look, Ma, I made it. Hey, look, Ma, I made it. Panic at the Disco. While that may be true, this does not sell people on me. This is bad. This sounds like everybody else. Quit your job, make $1 million, go through hard times, come out on top. Of course, all of that done right is inspirational. Done like this is the opposite of inspirational.
Again, literally.
Literally.
My mind.
What's the opposite of inspiration? Uninspirational. Uninspirational?
To be able to create by trading in my corporate heels for my laptop. And you can do the same.
So there it is. Oh my God. There it is. And you can do the same. I am so tired of that message. It needs to be updated. Yes, it's possible. But everybody is saying that. I can't believe I did this.
Whatever it is, I'm here for it.
That's true.
I'm here for it. And that's what Redhead Rules is all about.
That's true.
That's the essence. You know, before you can get to the tangible and the practical and the step by step, let's just get one thing straight. I am a New Kids on the Block fan. I have always been a New Kids on the Block fan. I will always be a New Kids on the Block fan.
And that is my truth.
We're going to have so many. You're going to learn so many pop culture tools.
All right. Oh my God. Stop. Stop. Stop.
Yes. And at the end of the day, you will remember those tools.
All right, so here's the long and the short of it. This is bad. What you just saw there was me going with option 2. Remember what the options were? Number 1, I could just release the video even though it was completely off and hope that it worked. Number 2, I could try to make something lemonade out of lemon, so to speak, of this video. Try to, like, you know, let's say I walked into a tree. I don't know why I would walk into a tree, but I had a black eye. You put makeup over it to try to cover the black eye. Or today I've got a fever blister and we've got makeup over it to try to cover it up. That's what you just saw, us trying to cover up the fever blister. Or option 3, throw it all away, right? Those were my 3 choices. What you just saw was option 2. Now, I will say my incredible videographer who's been with me for so long, she is an absolute brilliant person, knows film inside and out, did the best with what I gave her to work with, which was a fever blister. Like, let's just be honest. Nobody wants a fever blister. It was a fever blister. She did the best with what she had to do. And you can see my reaction to that is also cringy. Like, I am secretly in that moment dying inside. But when it came time to release that video, I pulled the plug. I couldn't do it. Because what the internet needs more of is authenticity. What I need more of in my life is truth. What you need more of and what you trust me for is for me to tell you, yeah, this went horribly wrong. So wrong that I tried to make lemonade out of lemons and I couldn't choke it down. So instead, we pulled the plug. We pulled the plug. We went with option 3. Going with option 3 had a cost, which is what I want you to understand. It had a cost. I lost money, I lost time, and I broke my word to you because we didn't release Redhead Rules at all. Today is the first video and the last video. I invested, or I lost, a lot of sales capital because we spent a lot of time talking about something that never came to fruition. But what today kicks off is because I eventually, through crying on the floor, through a lot of conversations with my videographer who said, we'll do what you want to do, but I don't feel like this is an accurate representation of you. What I eventually got to is be better. Be better. Don't just put something out there because you said you were going to put it out. If it goes wrong, say it went wrong. I had to grieve, not to be dramatic, but I mean, I am dramatic, so, you know. I had to grieve the loss of that money, of that effort, of that show, because we were going to build our entire visibility plan around that. We've got a book coming out. The visibility plan was built around that. I had to say, we are pressing pause, and we're not going to do this until it feels right. What has this got to do with you? You will be faced with a time where you have to decide, what do I do? This is not an accurate representation of me. Or maybe this is not an accurate representation of the truth. Or this is not what I want to put out into the world. But on the other hand, I need to make money. And I don't have the luxury of pulling the plug because I've got to pay my bills. Whatever you decide for you, there's zero shame. But in this moment, I want to give you permission to look at it another way. I want to give you permission to believe in better. Now, in fairness, there are times when good enough is good enough. After 10 years in this industry, am I over the moon, absolutely proud of everything I've put out? No, absolutely not. No. So there are times when good enough is good enough. Everything is not Pulitzer Prize winning copy. Everything is not Academy Award winning video quality. Everything is not going to make you 100,000 or 100 million or whatever number in sales. So there is room for good enough is good enough. Quite frankly, if we're talking about truth, there are some days when getting out of bed is the best I can do. Some days, getting out of bed or staying in bed is the best I can do, right? Like, I mean, we are a mess of contradictions as humans. One day we may feel like how I imagine Beyonce feels, queen of the world, but I'm still willing to bet Beyonce has days when she feels like I can't get out of bed. Maybe she doesn't. The whole point here is it's got to feel right to you. It's got to feel right to you. And what I know now, to quote Oprah, or what I know for sure is that if I had released that video and we had gone forth, I would have been out even more money. I would have been even more out of integrity, and I would have been even more likely to light a match and burn the whole thing down because it was headed in the wrong direction. So when you're faced with this question, here's what you need to do. Number one, permission to pause. People say permission to quit, permission to stop. I want you to have permission to pause. Permission not to make a decision. I feel like in this decision overload culture or decision fatigue, we always are running towards, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? It's like chaotic. Pause. Pause and ask yourself, can I afford not to release this? Is it financially possible for me not to release this? It was financially possible for me not to release this. I lost a lot of money, but it was, right? If the answer is no, I have to go forth, then you need to figure out how do you turn lemons into lemonade so that you're proud, so that it's good enough. So, permission to pause, permission to ask yourself questions, permission to get outside opinions. But here's what I have learned. Truth for me, feels different for everybody else, is like watching a Broadway show. My whole body comes alive. I have chills all over my body, or it's like hugging my daughter. It's just like an anchor rooting me to the ground, to this moment. That's what your decision should feel like. And so my decision to pull the plug was the only decision that felt like truth. You have to find your truth in those moments, and you got to stand up for it because the whole world is going to tell you what you should do. So permission to pause, permission to find your truth. That's what you need to do when it all goes sideways and creates that record scratch moment of what is happening. Today, I am excited to announce we launch a new version of a new show. A show that is centered around you. A show that allows me to do what I love, be in front of the camera, but a show that gives you an upgraded sales learning experience. I've been making videos for 10 years, press and record myself. In the beginning, it was just about getting the videos out there. And now it's about a bigger audience. It's about giving you the tactical and practical and proven tools that allow you to close more sales and make more money. But at the end of the day, it's really about giving you the tools that allow you to do work that makes an impact and that you love. Work that you can feel proud of. It's about giving you the tactical and practical and strategic proven tools that allow you to create the freedom that we all are searching when we quit our jobs, when we're braver than our neighbor who's playing it safe but miserable, and start these businesses. That's a show I can get behind. That's what I want to put out to the world. And so that is what you're going to see moving forward. If that kind of truth and that kind of authenticity is what you're up for, ring my bell. Ring my bell. Ring my bell. It's not always going to be right. You're going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, but you're going to see truth. Truth that is proven to work, not just in my business, but in the hundreds of thousands of businesses that authentic selling has touched. I believe in you. I believe in your business. And thank you for giving me permission to pull the plug.